So these are the high school profile pages. These templates will be supplied to you, and you'll be in charge of pagination and layout. So we'll start off with the region intro. First thing we'll do is name the region. And then import the region intro text. Make that 2 columns. And you might notice that some of the stories you get have tab stops or extra paragraph returns. They shouldn't have them, but we'll want to remove them. I have searches set up for these already, so it takes less time to eliminate them. So once your story is formatted the way you want it to be, using the text style, then you can go through and use paragraph styles to format the way it should be. And then once you're done with that, you can grab a tag and stick it at the end of the paragraph, of the last paragraph. We'll want to eliminate widows, lines, or words that stick out at the end by themselves. And also, once you import the player photo, we'll use the text bold and change the color to call him out. And that first section is done. Next, we'll move on to the All-Star team. All you have to do here is just import the All-Stars. And choose All-Star team. And that will format everything the way it needs to be. Now you'll notice that some schools are long and they carry over to the next line, making it 2 lines. What we'll want to do is use the tab stops to just move that first tab stop over so that all of the schools fit onto 1 line. And you're done. Don't forget to name the region. And we can move on. The top 5 games will have their own paragraph style this year. You can format those the same way you formatted the All-Star roster and the story for the intro. The top 5 teams should have their own paragraph style, but if they don't, just use the eyedropper to format those. Shouldn't be too hard. The snapshots should all appear about the same size. All the heads should be about the same size. They should be CMYK, no less than 200 dpi, and any large photos that we receive should be cropped down to fit into these boxes and should be saved to a smaller file size. The reason is we don't want a lot of these small photos which appear in every region increasing the document size or increasing the transfer times between uploading and downloading files. If there's any particular headshots that are too dark or too washed out, you should use the color correction in Photoshop to adjust the levels. And if they're acceptable to start off with, then you can just leave them as they are. So the big part of the high school profiles obviously is the high school profile sections. We'll start off by importing that, and you'll get probably a paragraph style that says normal or something else from the Word document. We're going to delete that, and I usually replace it with text to start off with. Next comes the step where we use the paragraph styles to format all these paragraphs. This step is highly automated. All we have to do is select all the text, then go to the paragraph styles, and the team profiles, right click on team name, and choose apply team name, then next style. And everything should be formatted correctly. You're going to notice there's a few things that need to be adjusted. For instance, the schools that are 2 lines. We're going to work around that by entering a hard return and decrease the leading to 7 point for the second line, and that will bring everything into line below it. There might be other 2-line schools where just by increasing the kerning we can make it fit onto one line. So there's the 2 methods you'll use to correct any schools that are 2 lines. So once that's placed, you can go ahead and start creating multiple column boxes, carry them over to the next pages, and that's the bulk of it. Now you're going to notice that sometimes there is an extra return or a section is missing. For instance, the Florida Christian Patriots are missing the players section in their school, so everything after them is thrown off. The Coleman Gators is formatted separately, differently as it should be. It throws everything off by 1. So what we're going to do is select all the text, hold down the Shift key, click on the first part of that line, and then use the same method we did before, which is right click on team name, apply team name, then next style, and that fixes everything, at least until the next extra return or missing section. But that's the method you use to correct those problems. Once you've fixed all the 2-line schools, you can then go through and fix any of these schools that sit awkwardly at the bottom of the page. Just put your cursor at the start of the line, hit enter, and move them on to the next column. Just like that. If there's any schools, like any beach tides which carry over, that's acceptable because there's plenty of information on both sides of the line. But if, for instance, there's a school like the South Dade Buccaneers where there's just one word hanging over, we're going to want to fix that either by decreasing the space here or another line above it. So by doing those things, you should be able to format the entire section rather quickly. Your most amount of time will probably be spent with the snapshots and cutting out the player photos. Everything else should be in the folder for you. And if you have any questions, just shoot me an email and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks.